the other day. This man looked at me. I don't have a clue who he is. He said, "You the lobster lady?" And I said, "Well, I guess so." I said, "That's what they say." I lobster with my son Max, and I've lobstered with him 13 years. When the weather is good, we go out about 3 days a week, because I don't want to go 5 days, That's a regular job, and I don't need that. So, see, my life is altogether different than most people. I bought his moored at Spruce Head, but we leave Rockland about 3 a.m. to get down to the boat. We're both licensed, and I have 200 traps of my own. My son has, probably a little over 200.
That boat is named Virginia. Now, was that your husband's boat, or how did that happen?
That was my husband's boat. Once we get underway, our first stop is the co-op.
Morning, Virginia.
We buy our supplies here, bait and gas for the boat. They drop the bait right on board. We head out from Spruce Head at daybreak. It takes about 30 minutes before we reach our first trap. If we haul 200 traps, that's a good trip. That gives me time to fill the bait bags before we get to our first trap. I fill the bait beds, measure the lobsters, handle the lobsters, and pilot the boat. There are limitations on when you can haul your traps. You can't start hauling until a half hour before sunrise.
Now, how do you remember which traps you pulled the day before you go out? I mean, you just kind of, is there a time?
Well,
how do you mark that off?
We know pretty well, but we do have a chart plotter. We have a chart plotter, and that will take you to where your boys start.
Let me tell you, the job I wouldn't want to have that you were doing is cleaning those bait bags that you pull
Oh.
out of the.
They're miserable, really. But, and you gotta turn them wrong side out because they say they won't fish. Then you got to dip them, in the water, and then turn them right side out and fill them.
That's what takes the most work of everything you do.
Yeah, it's awful.
Oh, I was
But
saying, I said, wow.
it does keep, the bait does stay on, so I guess probably it's worth it. Sometimes I wonder. No, it's just I don't have to have a license to steer the boat. No, I can steer that. As long as you've got a lobster license, I guess you can,
Well,
As I know.
you've been steering a boat for a long time.
Oh.
I guess you would know.
Oh, yeah. I lived on the island in the summer. That's the neck of Andrews Island. Because my father was a lobster dealer, and he had a store, and we slept up over the store. The bedrooms was up over the store.
So, did you have a job during the summer? Something you were responsible for there at the store? Or?
Oh, I used to wait on the fishermen and go down, weigh the lobsters and pump the gas. See, all my life I've done this kind of thing.
Been around a long time.
Yeah. I used to go with my brother, when I was a kid. My husband started lobstering in 1945. And went with him all the time until he passed away. I've been lobstering off and on for 91 years.
I guess it seems pretty natural to you, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. I like to do it.
Did you look forward to getting out of school summers and going to the island?
Yes. But see, I had a sister and she was 10 years older. No, she was 5 years older. My brother was 10 years older than I was, so I just had Play by myself.
You were the youngest?
Yeah,
Oh.
I was the youngest.
So they were all grown up.
Yeah.
Too busy to fool with a young thing like you.
Oh,
huh?
yes. But I always found something to do.
Were there any other families over on the island?
They
come over
lived
to the
on all
island?
those islands, Dick's Island and Andrews Island.
Uh-huh.
And there was a bar between the neck of Andrews Island and Andrews Island. You could walk across low tide,
Really? Wow.
as long as you made sure to get back before the tide comes.
You had to watch those tides, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Dick
All my
was-
life I've watched the tides, you know. High Island and Dick's Island, they cut granite on them. They cut granite on those islands. Some of the post office granite was cut off from High Island and Dick's Island for the post office in Rockland.
That's the post office they tore down, though.
Oh, that was the worst thing they ever done, tear that down for a parking lot. No other city would have allowed it. Really.
Yeah. That's a shame.
Yeah, it was a nice post office. No. Solid granite.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't be much better.
You're right. You're right.
I don't know why they ever done it, but I usually get up about 2:45 when we go to hall. Other days I get up at 4:45. That's my daily thing. 4:45 in the morning I get up.
Yeah.
But if we're going out to hall, I usually get up about 2:30 because you got to get ready and go down the track and get outboard and go aboard the boat and get stuff lined up to go. Once we get on board, it takes us a few minutes to get our fishing gear on. We try to stay dry and warm. Then
So
I have oil. I have rain gear to wear. I like all the fishermen wear. Only I don't have the heavy ones, like, because they make a lighter weight thing, and so I buy the lightweight one. Because they're not so heavy. I don't need that heavy stuff because, I'm not hauling the traps. He does that and get my earrings on and all. And I said, well, of course. I always wear earrings to haul. I always wear my lipstick and things, just like I was going to go up the street somewhere. I don't really like to see myself when it's really foggy. I can, but I don't really like to. You'd think I'd be tough enough that, wouldn't you? Well, it gets pretty rough sometimes. Oh, about every day last year it was foggy. Every day we went. Sometimes I've gone wet to the gills, but I never get seasick.
Do you remember the first time that you got to go into a boat by yourself and go out on an
I
area?
was probably 8 years old when I took the boat. And my father had 2 fish weighers. And he would send me over to tell the guys to come to work.
So you'd go from the island over to the
Yeah,
coast and say,
yeah,
time
over
to get to
to
work,
High
guys."
Island.
Uh-huh.
There's a guy on High Island, and there was one guy and his father that lived on Hewitt's Island. Well, I would just, go in, and they probably heard me come in. They probably expecting him, and I'd just go and holler and tell him to come to work.
I bet if you talk to a young woman today, she wouldn't even begin to understand how different your life was, right?
Yeah.
I mean, how would you describe it that's so different than how it is today?
Well, when I started out with lobster, no women ever went. No women went. Well, now there's, quite a few women. Well, that was just the way I lived. I don't worry about somebody else, what they're going to do. I do what I want to do. Because I'm really independent.
Maybe that'd be too hard a life for people today. I mean,
Oh, I think probably it would. I'm sure.
Now, the lobster traps are different now than they were back when you were young. They had the wooden traps.
That's right.
And some women made a lot of money netting the
Why? Oh, the heads.
the heads that were.
I used to knit heads for my husband.
You did?
Yeah, knit the side heads. You had to knit 3. The side heads and the power head.
How do you like the new wire traps compared with the old wooden ones?
Well, you used to have to take rocks to sink the wooden ones. till they soaked up, and then you had to take them out, put them in your boat, and then you had to take them ashore. It's a lot more work than it is now, because these will sink right off.
The old traps used to absorb and get waterlogged after
Yeah.
a while.
Yeah.
You'd have to dry them out occasionally? Or?
Well, that's why you had to put these rocks in them.
Uh-huh.
You had to put separate rock,
Otherwise,
They used to put cement in them for the ballast. Instead of, now there are these wire ones are brick. But used to have in the middle of it you had the width of the trap. Oh, it was probably 5-6 inches wide. You had to pour that cement, let that dry. A lot more work than it is today. They wouldn't do it today probably.
They throw in the towel.
Yeah,
Too
you're
much.
right.
Now, did somebody used to make the wooden traps, or did people make their own wooden traps? How did that work?
They used to make their own.
So nobody had a business just making them and
No,
selling them? Oh,
no,
really?
not then. No.
Huh.
No, you had to do everything yourself.
That's another thing that's changed, right?
Yeah, that's another change.
Well, you had to be more self-reliant, didn't you? You had to
Yeah.
be able to count on yourself, didn't you?
Yeah.
Couldn't just pick up the phone, wasn't it? Couldn't just pick up your cell phone and order a pizza.
No. They didn't even made pizzas years ago.
Do you remember when World War II started, when Pearl Harbor was bombed?
Oh, yes.
What was it like in Rockland at that time?
Well, everything was rationed. And my husband didn't have to go because, he had kids. Then they didn't take him with kids.
How did that affect lobstering when things were rationed? Did that affect business at all, or how did that affect?
Well, because during the war, my husband worked over the Bath. I worked. So then we didn't go lobstering then, and I never worked until my youngest one was 9. I stayed home and took care of them myself. My daughter, she was born in 1937, and Billy was born in 1941. Just the war started. And Max was born in 1943. Max was born in 1943. My youngest one was born in 1944. My son Charles is 1974. Max is 1976. William is 1978. And my daughter Margaret is 1981.
Now, just the 2 boys are lobstering, right? Just 2 of them?
Oh no, they all love.
All 3 of them are?
Mhm.
Oh, okay. All out of Spruce Head?
Yeah.
So you get to see your boys quite a bit then?
Oh yeah.
I bet you like that, huh?
Yeah. They come for supper every Saturday night. I'm busy all the time doing something. Always something to do. I tend to lobsters. I have to band lobsters with my left hand because I broke my wrist and I've never been able to band them with my right hand again. Don't have strength enough to do it. I put it against that side there so it can't reach up and bite me. But anyway, I manage. You can always find a way to do something.
I had my hand there holding on. You know, that one lobster almost got a hold of my finger.
I know.
Have you ever been grabbed before?
Oh, yeah.
They're pretty strong, huh?
You're right.
Do they break the skin when
Oh,
they do that?
yeah.
Oh, really? Wow.
Oh,
I got
I've been
lucky.
bitten a few times.
Yeah.
And a crab bit me last year, and I had to go and have 7 stitches taken
Oh,
in my
my.
finger.
Did the doctor believe you when you?
The doctor.
Did he believe you when you said you got in a fight with a crab? Huh?
He said, well, what are you doing out there anyway? And I said, well, that's because I want to go. He really made me mad. I'm pretty independent.
I can tell. That's one of the things I like most about you.
I keep getting older, though.
When you meet people, do they ask you what your secret is? I bet you hear that a lot, right?
I said, well, you got to keep busy. You got to keep working. It's not easy. I probably lived a different life than most. Now they want to watch TV all the time, be on computer and texting and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's a changing world, huh?
Yeah, really is.
Well, I was thinking about that the other day. You've probably seen a lot of changes come and go over the time you've been.
Yeah, I have. And
going
it's
across
not.
those
It's not. They're not for the better.
waters.
Really. Down to the wharf yesterday morning, and with some guy. I forgot what his name is now. I've known him for so long now. He said, I ought to get your autograph.
Give him hell, Virginia!
I go to Hannaford shopping every day just to get out and, see people. And I meet a lot of people I know just by shopping. And I know all the clerks in there anyway, and so.
So you do all the cooking. Max doesn't do any cooking.
No.
He does the eating.
Yeah, that's right.